Am I on? There we go. Well, cool. Well, thank you guys for being here. I actually like that the little drizzle came. I'm a big, high 60s, low 70s guy. That's like my comfort zone. And so this is perfect weather for me. So you're here. You're here for a purpose and a reason. My hope is that every one of you come here on Sunday mornings to meet with God. I don't know what the rest of your week looks like, if you've set aside other time to be with him, or if this is your go spot for your hour and a half. You've heard me say it before, it's not enough, but my hope is that you are here to convene and meet with God, to be with him and to have him lead us into this. The positives are we got great company together. The music's amazing. It's great having Price back. Price, thanks for coming in and blessing us with your presence again. The commitment isn't too bad, depending on how long-winded I am. It's like hour and 20 minutes. You guys can handle that. Coffee's tolerable. We got to figure out in the heat of summer how to do a big batch of cold brew. If you want to figure that out, I will unleash you to figure that out. But we come here to interact with God, and we sang about it just a second ago, that God meets us here. He's here with us now. That God sees this ragtag group up here nestled in the woods of Sudden Valley, and he delights in us. Like he desires to be with us and to lead us. He cares for us, and he desires so much for us. And that's what I think for me, at least, it's been just amazing to kind of rest and really kind of step into that idea that God desires to be with me. And so I want to invite a couple of my friends up, Jamie and Heidi. I say friends because I would say family, but you can't choose your family, right? So I'm stuck with them. I didn't choose them. They definitely didn't choose me. But so I say friends because I choose them. They're great people to have around. We did a decent amount of work this week to make sure they could come. And Amelia, their daughter, and my son Micah, who's downstairs, they're going to go serve at Fur Creek for a few weeks. And so they came up to be with us this morning and kind of talk with us. And specifically this idea of around what I've been kind of leaning my hand to is meeting with God. And I wouldn't be, I can't say, I would be with Heather even if I didn't know you guys. I said it last time. But, I did it in a roundabout way. I'm going to just share this. No, I'm telling a story. So I was hanging on tight going to my ex-girlfriend's church for the longest time. Even after we broke up, I was really holding on to the strings. And that's where Jamie was a pastor at. And so I met them, and then I decided to date Heather's best friend first, which was, just poor choices. We all make them. And then finally got introduced to Heather when she came home from college for the summer in a college group. And I shared when Heidi, if you missed it, was it 3 weeks ago? 3 weeks ago, Heidi preached a message up here, and I told her this week it was probably one of the best messages that's been preached at CTK Sudden Valley in a while. So if you got the opportunity to go back and listen to that, do it. But they were coming back up, and so we connected, and we're like, let's connect again around some different stuff. And so they're the reason I'm here with Heather, really, kind of in a roundabout way, doing what we do. But why don't you tell us? So you guys are here. We're separate. You guys are over here. Oh, yes. We have 2 microphones. No, you don't need a mic.
Okay, I can talk loud.
No, I got it. It's my first time. I don't get out much. Bailey, should I go for the jump back up? No. I did it. I did it with my left foot, not my right. So it's my physical therapist back in the back row. And that's why I need a physical therapist.
He's always like this.
So how?
Wow.
Give a brief. Turn off her mic. give a brief kind of history to where you're at right now. Why, yes.
He asked us to give him a bunch of questions to shoot as softballs, and that wasn't the question.
No.
Is it on?
This one isn't. I'm looking, but I see numbers on. Hold to power. Off.
Well, if Heidi's is working,
It's on. Yeah, it's on.
maybe you can grab Heidi's.
What he said was that Jason asked us for some questions just
It was
to
one of them.
guide him, and that wasn't it. So we're like, all right.
Oh, this was the first one.
So, my name is Heidi. I preached here a couple weeks ago. It was a pure joy to be with you. And this is my husband, Jamie. So Jason asked us to share. I might have asked, can we share about our new ministry? So 2 years ago now, Jamie and I went on our second sabbatical. And we went going to hear from God. Like, that's what pastors are doing, right? They're taking a break to just be with God and to listen to God and not have to think about a sermon. You might not know it, but pastors are thinking about sermons all the time. And so you just can just rest and be with God and pray, like, God, what do you have for us and what do you have for the church? So when we went in that sabbatical, I was like, I am done with ministry. I don't want to do any ministry. I will go work at the schools. I will do anything. I'm just done with ministry.
How long had you guys been a pastor at that point?
We've been in ministry since we were like 22, and I was 47. You can do the math. So long
25.
time, 25 years of ministry.
I can math.
And I was just like, I'm just done. And Jamie was like, I think I still want to pastor. I just need a break. I just need a break and some time away just to rest. So we decided I mentioned on my sermon, we love to walk. I love to walk. I love to be with God. It's something we do together and alone. So we wanted to go on the Camino de Santiago. It's a pilgrimage. And Christians have been doing this for hundreds, maybe almost thousands of years. And we wanted to go to walk, to just be with God and to listen to God and hear from God. We wanted to start our sabbatical that way. So we began on the edge of Portugal, and we walked towards Santiago. That was our route. And it was the third day on our pilgrimage, and we were sitting down to breakfast, and I said to Jamie, this is like, I'm in Spain. This is amazing. Like, I cannot complain. And I just really wanted to hear from God. Like, I wasn't walking because I just wanted to go for a walk. And I didn't have any plan of what I wanted that to look like. I just really want to hear from God. And he goes, that's the cry of our heart. He said out loud, that's what I want. And the cool thing about God is listening, even when you're not like, dear Jesus, amen. But when you say your deepest longings, and that longing is to be or hear from God, God is like, I'm on it. I hear you. And so, maybe not 2 hours later, we're walking on the Camino. We're late in the day because we're not morning people. And this guy that we've been walking with, John from Nottingham, comes out of a bush. And he's like, you guys, I don't know what just happened to me. Something just happened to me. And he's just like, I don't know what it is. He's just blubbering, but you have to go up that pathway. You have to go up there and see what's going on. And I want to talk with you guys about this later. And he just takes off. We're like, okay. He smokes a lot of pot, so I don't know. But he told us that. So that's part of his journey. So I'm like, come on. This is our different personalities. I'm like, come on, let's go. And my husband's like, no, we have a path. We have a journey. I was like, no, come on. These are, the different people. And he's like, no. And I was like, that's fine. You can follow me if you want. So off I go. He's like, fine. So we go on up the path, and at the top, there's this monk. And so there's this monk up there. He's a Catholic monk, and his job, you'll find it, his job is to simply, it's the first one, to pray for the pilgrims. You'll find it.
Oh, that's it for sure.
Sorry, it's rough.
It was up there a second ago. The guy dressed in white.
So there was a Catholic monk, and he was all dressed in white, shaved head, big cross, sandals, And he's up there, and his job is to just talk with the pilgrims, and if they're open to it, pray with them.
There he is.
And that's Father Carlos. And so he was talking with the pilgrims. It was so beautiful because he was talking like this and moving at a non-American pace, and he was just giving everybody his undivided attention. And Jamie's like, it is going to take forever till he can talk to us. I'm like, that's fine, we'll be fine. So I'm like, I'm talking to that monk. And so we're waiting and waiting. He finally comes to us, and he looks at us, and he says, may I pray the blessing over you? We're not Catholic. We're like, sure. Like, yes, pray for me. So he takes his hands, and he puts them, without asking, on our foreheads, like one there, one here, and he started praying for us. And we're like listening because we can't understand it. And we're thinking it's probably Spanish because he's Spanish, maybe Latin, right? And we're listening. And all of a sudden we like, our eyes, like we look at each other. And we're like, I think he's praying in tongues. Like, what is going on here? Like, I'm pretty sure he's praying in tongues. And then he gets more fervent. And I was like, oh, this is really strange. And then he stops and he looks at us. And he started telling us about who we were, and like that we'd ministered, we'd ministered together, that God had placed us together, that God was pleased with our hearts, and that many people had received healing, not because of anything we did, not because of who we were, but just because of our love for God and who we are. And he said, many people have experienced healing from your ministry. And he goes, and now I want you to listen to this. Listen to me. And we're like, okay. God has a new mission for you. Don't be afraid. He goes, did you hear it? Like, God really wants you to hear this. God has a new mission for you. Don't be afraid. Every time that happens in the Bible, people are like scared spitless, right? And I was like, what are you saying? And then he opens his eyes, and he's like, who are you? And we're like, we're just pastors of a small church in Eastern Washington. And he's like, do you want to come up and have coffee with me and hang out for a while? We're like, yes. So he closed up the front gates, and we went on up, and we sat down, and we hung out with him for an hour and just talked about God and life. And he tried to beg us to come be missionaries with him in Spain. Like, we're not even Catholic. He's like, I don't care. I can sense your hearts are the same as mine. And so that was the beginning of our sabbatical. And we knew that God had something different. And so we went like just praying and listening. And we have always had the dream when we grow up. Have you had a dream? Like, when we grow up, we want to provide love and care for pastors and missionaries. Because Jamie and I, when we have been at our very lowest points, have received some really amazing care that kept us going. And so, like, the first time we experienced that when we were young in ministry, and we said, someday I want to do this for other people. And in the middle of this season of not knowing, Jamie came home one day and he goes, Heidi, I think we're growing up. I'm 50. I was like, what?
You're 50?
Yeah. And so he's like, I think now is the time to do this. And I was like, no one else is surprised that we're grown up, but I was like, oh, so that is the journey of how we've gotten to where we're at. And Jamie's going to share a little bit about the need.
The what?
Oh,
Well, I think one of the questions you did send me is, why would you leave the church? And so for me, at least, in my follow-up, I had a doozy of a follow-up for them, because I know where my heart is. And you guys, even having spent time pastoring a church longer than I have, by probably 10 years. So maybe almost doubled it up. But did you guys struggle at all with the identity of not being a pastor anymore? And what that meant to you personally? And because I know I've struggled with that, at the idea of like when I was a youth pastor and not. And so, yeah. So why leave the church and lose that identity? Oh, it's working.
Well, when God shows up in a moment and says, I have a new mission for you, don't be afraid, it changes things real quick. I mean, for us, it was a burning bush moment. I mean, Moses is walking in the desert, and there's a bush that's on fire that's not actually burning, and it's very confusing. But points back to that moment. I mean, that's what gave him the ability to move from one life to the next. And so in the process, we've had to share this story a lot. And I don't know if you've ever had a story like that, where you have to share. You point out, this is a moment where God said, and now I do something different. And I can point back to that, and it's not just that God is commanding me and making me do this, but it is an assurance that I'm walking in the right way. And so, yes, identity, all kinds of aspects, like just roles, power, and the ability to go to a church and say, I love this church because, well, I made it what I love. If I want to do something at church, if I want the church to do something, I can make that decision. You guys understand, you don't necessarily have that power, because Jason holds most of that power, right? You're like, well, I want to do this, and you go talk to him, and it's a good idea, maybe it happens. I don't know, maybe he's like, yes, do that. So if you got ideas, please come talk to Jason.
Cold brew coffee.
Cold brew coffee. But
nobody's raising their hand.
so you go to church and you're like, I don't know if this is what I would do as a pastor, and you have to wrestle with those things over and over again. But at the end of the day, what we love is we love Jesus and we love His church. And so yeah, there was some struggle in that, and still is. It's still hard. The other thing though that keeps us focused on this though is the need, which is what she was talking about. So I don't know if you caught what she said, but what we are doing is we're with a group called Oasis Rest International. We went from pastors to missionaries to pastors and missionaries. And what we do is provide care and basically counseling, spiritual direction, support through transitions, through traumas and pains, through retreats, and sit with pastors and missionaries to do that. And the reason that we felt that, like she said, we had received some of that care when we were in our late 20s, early 30s for the first time after going through really traumatic experiences. And I was like ready to quit going into it. I was like, I am done with the church. I might even be done with God. I don't know. I was kind of headed that direction because church people were so rough at that time.
Not you guys, though.
Not you guys. So we received this care, and it enabled us to move forward and continue fruitful ministry with the church and to create a healthy church environment. And so as we look at what's going on across the globe right now, and especially in our own country, the need for pastors and missionaries to receive this kind of care it's astounding. It is so great. Right now, I got a statistic one. You want to put the statistic slide up there? It's got all the little people on it. There it is. It's going to be hard for you to read, so I'll just read a couple of them to you. Right now, Barna, the church's research group, shows that 80% of pastors that are currently serving will not be in ministry in 10 years. 80%. One thing that's kind of happening with that statistic is we're finding out it's not actually true. 80% of pastors should not be in ministry in 10 years, but they are staying with it, and they are serving out of emptiness. They're serving out of this desperation of I don't know what else I would ever do, and it's damaging themselves, their souls, and it's damaging the church. And then you look at the missionary side of things. 60% of global workers, which is our new name for missionaries, because missionaries kind of got a colonialism thing going on with it. 60% of people who are serving in foreign countries are struggling with depression and anxiety at a clinical level. We're not talking about I just got the blues or I'm just worried about, X, Y, or Z. We're talking about a clinical depressive state, a clinical state of anxiety. 71% of missionaries that wind up leaving the field leave for preventable reasons. They could stay on the field and receive help and receive care and continue to do the work that God's called them to do, but because they don't have the care that they need, they wind up leaving the field. 47% of missionaries leave the field within 5 years. I mean, what we see is culture shock, language barriers, all those things are really difficult, but there's even more going on with isolation. And people become lonely and end up in despair and leave the field. And pastors are struggling at higher and higher rates. 1 out of 2 pastors say they want to quit. And the joke amongst pastors, I don't know if you've heard it yet, Jason, is that the other one is lying. I mean, it's It's all of us. And it's because since COVID, the church is quite different. And I'm sure it's not really this way here, but volunteerism has decreased. Giving has decreased. So it puts financial pressures on the church. It puts more and more work on the pastor's plate. Pastors are overworking because the expectation is that we still provide all of the ministries of the church: children's ministry, youth ministry, worship ministry, small groups. We have to follow up with new believers. We have to disciple people. We do all of these bits and pieces, and the weight is getting bigger and bigger, and pastors' plates are getting fuller and fuller. They started out in this just called to love people and to disciple them. And what they wind up having to be is a CEO. And I know that you guys got a great pastor, but I know that from time to time, this great pastor of yours gets retired. And this pastor of yours, both of them, they need care. They need somebody to listen. They need somebody who's been there, who understands. They need somebody who can help give them perspective. And that's what Heidi and I have been called by others to do, is to be a pastor of pastors, to be a pastor of missionaries. But it's a mission network. So that's what we're doing now. Did I answer your question?
Yeah. Really good.
Okay.
Really good. Really good.
A follow-up?
No, not that was my big doozy of a follow-up, which I saw your reaction like, oh yeah. Because I just know how I am, and I know how much we wrap our identity in things that we do, and like Jamie was saying, oftentimes when we've adapted an identity, we don't want to shed it, and we'll just hold on to it until forever. Like we'll just white knuckle it and work through it and quite possibly at the expense of missing out on what God is actually calling you to do, which, crazy to think that you guys could be pastoring, a handful of really amazing churches that I've seen you guys do, and then just be willing to be like, God's got something new for us.
We had 15 years at our last church.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful community of people and who took care of us well. And so letting that go was, when we sat down with we were Foursquare, we sat down with our denomination, they thought we were coming apart at the seams. And it wasn't because we were burning out, it was because we were grieving. We were so sad. And it was hard.
Yeah.
So thank you for pointing it out.
Yeah, I'm bringing it up, yeah. How can we help you? What can we do to help you guys in your ministry, if we can? Nestled up here in the upper left-hand corner of.
We're in the lower right-hand corner.
Yeah, I know, opposite ends of the spectrum, but yeah.
We're asking people to ask Jesus about partnering with us. We're asking you, like, if God puts this on your heart, like, this matters to me, to just ask Jesus, is this something that you would like me to help partner with? And then if Jesus is like, yeah, I do, pray, like, what do you want it to look like? Really what helps us the most is like monthly support of every level. We have people from, like $20 a month up to hundreds in that a month, and that's what it takes. And also we're asking people to commit to praying. And I know that that's actually a big ask. Your lives are really full, and how many things can you actually remember to pray for? And so we're asking people to actually pray for us and to ask Jesus, would you have me support this financially with the money that God has blessed you with? And I just want to encourage you, like, whenever Jamie and I heard Jesus ask us to give to something, Jesus took care of it. Like, when we'd feel that in our heart, like, I want you to give to this, and we'd be like, trust. Money is a big deal. And if you can learn to hold your money like this, you will have so much more freedom in your walk with God. So whether it's here or tithing or another ministry that God's been putting on your heart, try it. Say, God, I'd like to try trusting you with my money in a new way. See what happens. Yeah.
Yeah, I had the opportunity to share with Heidi, like, our financial, and I've been pretty open with you guys over the last handful of months of our financial needs as a church. and she offered to come and speak on giving. So no, she did. She did. I could do it this week. Yeah, just being open to. I think the biggest thing for me is just being open to. I've been resting on the word convene with God, like to be with Him in every decision. And this being a decision, as well as the decision to even come here on a Sunday morning, the decision to be with us. And so, yeah, I mean, I think that that's the biggest thing, is to just make sure we're touching base and including God in on the decisions, and allowing, not only just including Him on it, but actually like trusting, like you said, that open-handedness for that. So.
One of the things that I enjoyed doing as a pastor was discipling new believers and sitting with a person who came to faith for the first time. And I remember having a conversation with this gentleman years ago, and he had something that was part of who he was that he felt like maybe the church believed wasn't from God. And what I said to him is, you know what? Jesus wants to have a conversation with you about everything. And I mean everything. But not all at once. Slowly over time, Jesus wants to have a conversation with you about your family. And a conversation with you about your relationships and how you go about relating to people. And He wants to talk to you about your money. The money that He has given you to steward. He wants to talk to you about your masculinity or your femininity. I mean, every aspect of who we are as human beings. Jesus just wants to have a conversation with us. And it's not the principal's office conversation. You know, we just sit down and have a talk. It's invitation. It's relational. And He wants to invite you into a conversation around your finances and around the things that are important to Him that He has made important to you. And you may not realize that there's this tether, this tug in your heart, like, that's important to me. Maybe it's orphans. Maybe it's evangelism in China. Maybe it's caring for pastors and missionaries. God has put something like that in each of us to help bring the kingdom together by giving our time, our finances, our talents, our energies, all of those things. And He wants to have a conversation about that with you. So we want to invite you to have that conversation. I'm going to share my still on. My microphone?
Maybe your battery died.
I had this conversation yesterday. I walked in, I think Steve said it over there. I walked in on some guys building bookshelves, and they said, they stopped talking as I walked up to them, and they said, what did you say, the boss is here, or the principal, or? Teacher's coming. Shh, teacher's coming. And it's so funny, because that's kind of the way, the mentality that we can approach God even. To be like, with God in His presence, we just got to cower away or avoid the conversation. But really, it's more like, I love Steve, and I want to hang out with him. And I want to be a part of whatever he was talking about with all those dudes. But apparently it wasn't appropriate. So, I don't know that for sure. But,
It might have been.
So. Well, I'm going to pray for you guys.
Thanks.
And then I'm going to wrap things up. Will you guys pray with me? Lord, we thank you so much for the way you move and the way you work. Man, it's been such a blessing to me to watch Jamie and Heidi's story unfold over the years. 25 years of knowing them and the way you're moving through them. And so I pray for this new season, as I have been for them. Lord, as a church, may you remind us to be praying for them, to be lifting them up as they lift others up, Lord. And I pray for us to just convene with you, to meet with you around this idea of Oasis Ministry and around putting Jamie and Heidi on our hearts as you continue to work and move through them. Lord, I pray for many, many, many ministries